Hey guys, how you going? Okay, a little update on any contributions that anyone would like to make to the channel. Please do it via PayPal as a gift. It's the best way for them not to take any money out of it, due to super chats and that being taken quite a bit from them. YouTube does. Okay, so someone pointed that out in the comments yesterday, so I thought I'd just let you guys know. Okay, shout out to everyone awake right now, whether they want to be or not. Oh. Okay, now there has been a bit of a break in something here. A lot of people have been commenting on my last video that Biden, Clinton, Obama, and they all knew about Benghazi, and also they were involved in it, and that also Osama bin Laden is still alive. And this is from Keck YQ. SEAL Team 6 murdered by Obama administration to hide a secret. A $152 billion blackmail. Benghazi ain't going away. And this is from Awakened Outlaw. Refused to allow this event to be memory hold. Obama put a target on their backs. SEAL Team 6 family members say. Okay. Oh, wrong one. The families of some of the 17 SEAL Team 6 commandos who were killed in an ambush in Afghanistan during a helicopter flight to help army rangers pinned down by Taliban gunmen accused the Obama administration of deliberately endangering their loved ones for political ends. During a press conference on Washington Thursday, family and advocates for the fallen troops called into question the rules of engagement that they say prohibited their sons from being able to return fire, and the White House's decision to announce shortly after the killing of Osama bin Laden that SEAL Team 6 was responsible for the raid. In releasing their identity, they put a target on their backs, said Doug Hamburger, whose son, Army Staff Sergeant Patrick Hamburger, served among the helicopter's crew. The event was organised by Freedom Watch, a conservative advocacy group, at the National Press Club. One by one, fathers and mothers of the victims of the crash spoke about what they see as gaping holes or inconsistencies in the review of what US Special Operations considers its most deadly incident. In all, 17 members of the SEAL Team 6 counter-terrorist force were on board the CH-47 Chinook transport helicopter along with its Army National Guard air crew, several support personnel, and 7 Afghan commandos. In all, 38 troops died after the helicopter was shot down by what a review determined to be a Taliban RPG over Wardak province, Afghanistan, on August 6, 2011. The team was responding to an Army Ranger unit that was engaged in a protracted firefight with Taliban fighters and needed reinforcements. The families hope to raise awareness of the incident, which they say the government has largely forgotten since the official report was released in October 2011. Some congressional lawmakers demonstrated their support for the group, including former Florida Republican Rep. Alan West, an Iraq war vet, and Representative Michelle Bachmann. Amin. While the press conference was long on speculation and short on concrete evidence, the family members and their supporters didn't pull any punches. Retired Army Lieutenant General William Boykin, who served as Deputy Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and was a commander in the Army's super-secret Delta Force, denounced politicised rules of engagement as a deliberate plot within the American Armed Forces that he says put political correctness above the safety of the troops. Oh, political correctness. That's always going to get you in a really bad place. We've allowed politics to become more important than lives and safety of those men and women, he says. Petty Officer First Class Aaron Vaughan was one of the SEAL Team 6 operators who died in the crash. His father, Billy Vaughan, recounted Thursday a phone call from his son following the White House decision to credit the highly secretive military unit for the bin Laden raid. He said, "Mum, there's chatter. My life is in danger. Your life is in danger. Get everything off your social media. Our families are in danger," Vaughan recalled. Aaron Vaughan's mother, Karen, also demanded an explanation for why her son and his team were not using a special operations aircraft such as the Chinooks flown by special operations pilots, which are specialised defences designed to fly commandos deep behind enemy lines. The CH-47D that embarked on the mission that day had been built in the 1960s, she said, and last retrofitted in 1985. It's not uncommon for commandos to fly some of their missions aboard such aircraft in the war zone, however. She also said the team was hindered by rules of engagement that prohibited their firing on potential targets unless they could see a weapon. Military officials told her operating outside of these rules damages our efforts to win the hearts and minds of our enemies. The hearts and minds of our enemy are more valuable to our government than my son's blood, she said. We have an ideology problem with this war and we need to address it. This story has been corrected to reflect that only some of the families of the fallen SEALs say their loved ones were deliberately in danger. And this was from a long time ago, but you need to know because it's coming back. Now that you know about this, people have been telling me, I think it is Next News Network with Gary Frenchie. He has an interview, I believe, with a CIA agent, ex-CIA agent, who is blowing the whistle on a lot of this stuff. So if you can go over there, I don't want to show any of his videos because I don't want to take anything away from him or get in trouble, you know, by sharing. That's happened to me before. Well, not exactly in trouble, but just for sharing someone else's stuff, you know. You've just got to be very, very careful. And I don't want to take anything away from anyone else. So, okay, and this from 40 Head. Are Native Americans targeted by Satan worshippers or pedophiles? 116 out of 5,712 missing or murdered Indigenous women and girls were logged into the DOJ database in 2016. Only 2%. Is that purposeful? A mistake? How could facts like this escape media attention for so long? Wow. But only 116 of those 5,712 were entered into the DOJ. Wow. That's what I think about the Highway of Tears. I think it's them. I think from the USA through Canada and through Mexico, people are being taken by these people. I think even some of those Mexican cartel or the deep state. Let me know what you think anyway, guys. That's just my opinion. I don't know for sure. I just have a really strong feeling that a lot of these missing people are going to be traced back to this 1% of people. And this just in, breaking 911, Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine study paused due to unexplained illness in participant. And the DOQ says, POTUS wins again. He never wanted an actual vaccine. No, because he has the cure. And the media are going to keep pushing vaccine, hoping that even if you that's why I don't react to it. Because if the minute you start reacting, they know that they've got you because you believe them. That's what I think. That's just my opinion. Again, I have a lot of opinions, guys, but that goes from a long time of doing this, and I don't know if the HCQ is part of it, but I seem to have really strong feelings about certain things. Okay, and some of them I'll probably end up keeping to myself. Okay, protect Australia's food and fibre security. They said it runs deep. It certainly does. Champion work as always at Wake Australia. If you're not following Wake Australia, it's time. It's Wake Up Australia. Let's take a quick look at the grooming of Kate Sutton. I think I've read this. For dredging up this deep state. I think I have. Oh, Kate E. Sutton, Brett Sutton's wife. Director of the all-female humanitarian advisory group who has worked for Oxfam and World Vision. See, all these people are connected to like human sciences, human services, Oxfam, World Vision, the World Wildlife Federation. There is a lot of these people who are involved in these kinds of things. Kate Sutton, what's the go? We're talking a woman of influence, 2015 MP category, and the founding co-director of HAG, Humanitarian Advisory Group, Brett Sutton, CHO's wife partner. The article, kudos to Songbird Tam at 83 at Wake Australia. Yeah, these people need to be out. Get out. Oxford Uni is part of the deep state. It's been used for decades to recruit onto military intelligence, MI5 and MI6. Oxford and Cambridge academia is awash with MI5, MI6 operatives, and it's linked to Tavistock, which I've told you to look up before with the Beatles and all that. So, she's worked... Oh, hang on. Oh, she wants to work with the banking sector or the private sector. She's been to the University of Oxford. Coincidentally, British drug maker AstraZeneca has started manufacturing the University of Oxford's potential vaccine and strikes deal with Bill Gates-backed health organisations. You watch the president pull a quick one on all this. It'll be pulled out from under them before they even get it off the ground. Wellington House eventually morphed into Tavistock Institute, which was created at Oxford University, London, by the founders of the Royal Institute of International Affairs and the Round Table. Essentially, a mass brainwashing facility beginning as a psychological warfare bureau. And I will put all the links down below so you can come and have a listen to this for yourself. And in 2009, UCL and Anne Freud Centre studying what happens to child's brains when they've suffered early age trauma. Others who help fund the study are Institute of Psychiatry, Tavistock Clinic, and Oxford University. When you do an internet search of the Freud Centre images of Kate Middleton come up with the centre. The royal family appears to be a supporter of the centre through Kate. Interestingly, in California, a law, section number 300, deals with the state's authority to remove children from the home based on child abuse. Also interesting, Eustace. Mullins wrote an essay titled Sigmund Freud, Antichrist Devil. Definitely recommend reading it. In my opinion, psychoanalysis was the beginning of all mind control activities. Interestingly, the movie 300 is a company of 300 soldiers fight in Persia. Interestingly, it is GRRM Game of Thrones. There is the Golden Company of mercenary soldiers who fight for money, subsidiary companies in it for the money. Also in the Game of Thrones, the sword maker creates two coloured metal swords that look to have a reddish shine, like blood, for the ruling family. Not sure if anyone can follow my wandering train of thought, but I felt the need to share it anyway. Great-grandson of Louis or Lewis. Tiffany was George Gilder. He was speechwriter for Nixon and others. So that's quite interesting. And 1999 to 2000, Reading University. Chancellor of the University of Reading at this time was Lord Carrington. Lord Carrington became chairman of the Bilderberg Group, co-founder with David Rockefeller, and a top-ranking member of the Committee of 300. You've got to look into that. The Club of Rome and the Committee of 300 and the Bilderbergs. Bilderbergers, if you don't know about them, please go and look up that. There's a whole lot here. I won't read all that. After Kate's training, ICMC facilitates a worldwide network of Catholic bishops, conferences and Catholic-inspired organisations working on migration, refugee issues at the local and national level. Look at the people running ICMC, United Nations Globalists. Great. Program Manager in Afghanistan, Herat. Program Manager Albania. Gallagher has a long-standing international career behind her, a scholar, a teacher and a human rights advocate hailing from Australia. Gallagher taught for 12 years at the Australian National University. She spent more than a decade in the United Nations serving as special advisor to Mary Robinson, former UN High Commissioner for Human Rights and former President of Ireland. Gallagher then worked with the Southeast Nations Association. In 2019, Gallagher was appointed Director General of the Commonwealth Foundation. This position might not be compatible, however, with the role as an ICMC President. Throughout its history, ICMC has enjoyed close working relationships with different Vatican offices. According to its official website, the Commonwealth Foundation is an intergovernmental organisation established by the heads of government to support the belief that the Commonwealth is as much an association of peoples as it is of governments. And it goes on. Peter Sutherland, the father of globalisation. Oh my goodness, this just goes on and on. The Committee of 300, founded in 1727. Serves as the hub of all secretive organisations working for the deep state, including the Round Table. Although currently it mainly works for the American interests, it was originally founded by the British aristocrats. It's a known fact that this institution shapes policy, politics, commerce, banking, media and the military. The Committee of 300, which has been kept secret for a long time, generally manages and controls many organisations and associations such as Chatham House, CFR, Bilderberg Group, the Trilateral Commission, Freemasonry, Rosicrucians, the Club of Rome, Rand Corporation, PNAC, the Project for the New American Century, a neoconservative think tank based in Washington. And the US Agency for International Development, USAID, was created by Pax Americana to provide a cover for CIA agents under the pretext of helping the Third World. And Peter Sutherland again, the former president. If there was ever an internationalist tour de force on steroids, salivating as he anticipates the total ethnic destruction of Europe and the West to pave way for the globalist wet dream utopia, it's Peter Sutherland. USAID CIA contracts with faith-based organisations. A year-long Globe survey identified 159 faith-based organisations that received more than $1.7 billion in US aid, prime contracts, grants and agreements from fiscal 2001 to fiscal 2005. 1999 to 2000, Albania was involved in organ trafficking trade. Victims of the majority of whom were Serbs, had been taken from Kosovo to Albania. Oh dear God, Hostel was not a movie. It was a documentary. I'm pretty sure most horror movies were some sort of either history or documentary. Oh wow. I'm thinking about Saul. Have you seen The Cube? Oh mate. I thought that back then. That was early 2000s. I thought, imagine that they did this. The Cube especially, because it was done like a... these people woke up in a room and you could get to other rooms, but you couldn't get out. And some rooms were booby-trapped. Most of them would, and they had a certain amount of time before they all died anyway. Let me know if you've seen that movie. I used to be a horror fan, but I can't watch them anymore. I used to be a Jeepers Creepers fan till I found out about the bloke who made that show. Okay. A classified document indicates the UN knew of trafficking well before the issue was first raised. And the reason I used to like a lot of horror movies is because, to me, horror movies, I thought real life is worse than any horror movie I could ever watch. But that's when I thought they were just movies. Okay, so that should explain my life. Oh, that's why you got to laugh. Look, doesn't matter what you've been through. You've got to find something positive in it. And you've got to laugh. You've got to laugh through life. If you don't laugh, you might as well give up. I'm sorry, I don't mean that. I mean, you know, you've got to laugh. You've got to do something that makes you laugh, or watch something that makes you laugh, even if it's cute kittens or puppies or something. Okay, sorry, I just wandered right off there. The Clinton Foundation and the cabal surrounds it began to metastasize while Bill was still in the White House during the Bosnian conflict, in particular when the Clinton cabal got involved with entities such as DynCorp, look into them too, the corrupt USAID, etc. And there's a lot of articles. Clintons build criminal empire organ harvest trafficking. Whoa, okay. This might be a longer video than I thought. I was only going to do a quick one, but I don't know. Because this looks pretty interesting. Zenith News. The Clinton Foundation and the cabal that surrounds it began to metastasize while Bill was still in the White House. During the Bosnian conflict in particular, when the Clinton cabal got involved with entities such as DynCorp, the corrupt USAID, the International Red Cross, and the uber-corrupt UN and their peacekeepers, who have been accused of organ harvesting, human trafficking for sex, and other unsavoury activities. DynCorp. As the Clintons' coterie of disreputable friends grew, so too did their involvement in criminal activities. In an interview, former peacekeeper Catherine Bolkovac, the subject of the movie The Whistleblower, talks about the atrocities that went on and still go on wherever the UN is involved. I should read this first. The John Podesta hacked emails reveal that Taci and his government have other connections to the Clintons. In 2012, the Republic of Kosovo signed a $50,000 lobbying contract per month with the Podesta Group, a lobbying firm founded by John and Tony Podesta. John is Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman. Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign is really nasty, rigging the elections and creating chaos in every Trump rally, and now the new revelation involving her campaign with Mr. Taci. And what's new? Like, they're doing it again. Catherine Bolkovac, what happened in Bosnia to the victims of human trafficking in the 1990s and 2000s is quite similar to the Central African Republic scandal. Specifically, the abuse of vulnerable populations by organisations who are created and bound to protect, and the continued scandals surrounding the UN botched covert, now overt, attempts to remove, terminate, and discredit those who blow the whistle on their deeds. There were many cases, but they were never prosecuted. Young girls from Romania, Ukraine, Moldova, and other Eastern European countries being brought into service the UN and military bases as sex slaves. The cases involved the officers from many foreign countries, including the USA, Pakistan, Germany, Romania, Ukraine, government contractors and local organised criminals. The human rights investigators were never allowed to fully investigate. The suspects were immediately removed from the mission or transferred to other missions. The young women were simply sent back to their home countries. When asked if the leadership of the UN knew what was going on, she replied, "They certainly did, because I turned my reports over to them along with internal affairs. This was well documented." Many high-level UN officials knew about this, right up to Klein, the head of the UN mission in Bosnia. Was there any charge or trial against the replaced UN officers? No, none. Charges were never brought because the investigations were never allowed to be completed. That was the reason I was terminated and fired from my job, because I was trying to investigate these cases. After that, I took DynCorp to court in the United Kingdom and I won my case for wrongful termination. DynCorp, an American logistics company, has been involved with the Clintons not only in Bosnia but in Haiti after the 2010 earthquake and in Afghanistan as well. Wherever there is conflict in the world that involves the US military, DynCorp is there exploiting the situation. And I'm sure taking people away as well. DynCorp is also linked to Clinton pal Jeffrey Epstein, who didn't kill himself. Vote User Freedom On Fighter uncovered a special report on occurrences, foreign domestic, archived original PDF, identifying the fact that one of Jeffrey Epstein's suspected trafficking aircraft shared the same tail number as a State Department Bronco used under contract by DynCorp. The use of the tail number can be corroborated by official government records. This would mean that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked underage girls using an aircraft of the same tail number and during the same period as DynCorp when they trafficked minors in Bosnia and other parts of the Balkan states. If issued by some sort of accident or if one of the two planes was decommissioned, the statistical odds of just two planes sharing the same number would still be over 1 in over 900,000. Special thanks to user Peter Venkman, and see also a section on connection to identified criminals' activities in Bosnia. Wherever the Clintons go, their band of corrupt associates follow. This, I remind the reader, was before the Clinton Foundation was founded. After the foundation was up and running and other corrupt foundations attached themselves, it had a multiplier effect. A veritable multi-head hydra of corruption and criminality that involves drugs, human and child sex trafficking, even murder, done by insidiously criminal philanthropic foundations, government agencies, both foreign and domestic, and individuals. Organ harvesting. Wherever there's a dirty dollar to be made from human or child trafficking, organ harvesting or abortions, you can count on the Clinton Foundation getting their 25 cents. Whether it's in Eastern Europe, Haiti, the Caribbean or Africa, the Clintons are involved and business is better than ever. How they do it is fairly difficult to trace. They have layers of foundations, shell companies and partnerships with other elites such as Frank Gustra, Carlos Slim, Bill and Melinda Gates, and through them Warren Buffett. Not to mention NGOs, non-governmental organisations, such as the Children's Defence Fund, Planned Parenthood, and numerous others. Organ harvesting, for example, has become a huge black market industry. Organ trafficking is an undeniable worldwide issue that has been around since pharmaceuticals were first introduced in 1970 to prevent organ rejection, and quite possibly even earlier. The numbers speak for themselves, and unfortunately the numbers paint a picture of just how many people are either sacrificing their organs for cash to survive or being kidnapped and having them removed from their bodies, leaving them for dead. So who are the co-conspirators involved in these schemes? Read on, it gets pretty in-depth, and you will most likely recognise some of the names. In 2007, the WHO, World Health Organization, estimated that out of all transplants worldwide, 5 to 10% were conducted illegally. In 2011, it was estimated that the illicit organ trade generated illegal profits between $600 million US and $1.2 billion US per year. The Clintons and their foundation have been part of this from the start. The latest WikiLeaks hacked emails reveal the Clinton Foundation's connection with Dr. Hashim Taci, his Prime Minister of Kosovo. Mr. Taci was managing a crime gang called the Drenica Group. The group was involved in organised crime through the 1990s. Some of their more interesting activities were money laundering, drug and cigarette smuggling, prostitution, and of course human organ trafficking. Mr. Taci, the now Kosovo president, closely cooperated with organised crime structures in Albania, Macedonia, Bulgaria and the Czech Republic. The Drenica Group built an impressively large amount of power that flourishes in Kosovo. Clint Williamson, an American diplomat who went to investigate crime against humanity in Kosovo, stated that Drenica Group is responsible for murdering a group of people and trafficking their kidneys, livers and other body parts. The group also murdered, kidnapped and detained people illegally back in 1999. Despite the knowledge of the allegations against Mr. Taci, the Clinton Foundation invited him to attend the Clinton Global Institute conclave in 2011, 2012 and 2013. Part of the Podesta email disclosure from WikiLeaks reveals that the John Podesta hacked emails reveal that Taci and his government have other connections to the Clintons. In 2012, the Republic of Kosovo signed a $50,000 lobbying contract per month with the Podesta Group. Okay, that was one I already read. This is only one of the criminal activities of the Clintons early on in their criminal careers. As we go on and explore the foundation and its many offshoots, along with other corrupt criminal foundations that attach themselves, a network of corruption, deception and criminality will emerge involving many well-known names. Okay, so back to Sutton. See, they're all connected. Worldwide, they're all connected. 2002 to 2003, ICMC. Brett Sutton just happened to be in Afghanistan at the same time as Kate. No wonder it was love. They have the same financial backers. Coincidence, of course. World Vision, where to start? Daily Wire, a disturbing financial scandal involving World Vision. Funneling money to Islamic Relief Agency organisation with ties to terror groups including Al-Qaeda, partnering churches including Hillsong. Wow. What a tangled web we weave, hey? A video from RT showing how America used NGOs to take down Libyan President Gaddafi. And there's a video in here. I will not play it. I don't want to. I already got a copyright claim on yesterday's. And I know when I do that, I can't monetize them. Even though I did try. It just came up with a big red no through it. No, the money sign just turns red. Okay, 2008-2010, Oxfam. Like several other charities, Oxfam has been accused of being a front for the UK security service MI6. Oxfam is one of the most powerful and secretive British intelligence organisations acting under non-governmental organisation covered. This is how they get their private armies into other countries. Jeez. Oxfam's global connections can be traced to Unitarian Universalist, Whole Indian Program, global partners of UUHIP, including Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, major donor of Human Rights Watch, George Soros, and other major donor of Human Rights Watch, Oxfam. See, what a tangled web we weave. They're all intermingled. They're all doing the same thing, and none of them are there to help you. And that's why the board said those we trust the most, because these agencies that have been set up to help people have another side to them, not a nice side. 2010, Oxfam senior staff hired prostitutes in Haiti while delivering aid, and the charity allegedly covered it up. The scandal has forced Oxfam's deputy chief executive to resign. Boom. Brett and Kate are both in Timor-Leste in 2008-10 spying scandal. According to Timor-Leste report, Brett was funded by USAID, CIA, Soros. Kate Sutton, Oxfam, Soros, British intelligence. And that was the East Timor spying scandal. Bernard Kouchner, founder of the Médecins Sans Frontières, ex-French health minister of, sorry if I butchered that, health minister of health and hardcore Zionists, knew of the trafficking. Look how he's trying to deflect questions about it and doing a poor job. They all do. And here's a tweet from Kate Sutton. Doctors Without Borders is a voice of integrity. You have to love MSF above all else. They're a voice of integrity. To begin with, Doctors Without Borders is fully funded by the same corporate financier interests behind Wall Street and London's collective foreign policy, including regime change in Syria and neighbouring Iran. Doctors Without Borders' own annual report, 2010 report, can be accessed here. Includes financial donors, Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, Google, Microsoft, Bloomberg, Mitt Romney's Bain Capital, and myriad of other corporate financier interests. Doctors Without Borders also features bankers upon its board of advisors, including Elizabeth Beschel Robinson of Goldman Sachs. Complicating further Doctors Without Borders' so-called independent and aid claims is the fact that their medical facilities are set up in terrorist-held regions of Syria, especially along Syria's northern border with NATO member Turkey. In an interview with NPR, Doctors Without Borders' Stephen Cornish revealed that the nature of his organisation's involvement in the Syrian conflict, where he explains that aid is being sent to regions outside of the Syrian government's control, and that his organisation is in fact setting up facilities in those areas. Cornish admits, emphasis added. Here is Kate Sutton at a conference for PEMA, who is in partnership with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, Agenda 21. We've all heard of sustainable development, but what does it actually mean? Is it really about protecting the earth? And you can look at that. And Pacific Live tweets, how are we diverse in the Pacific and how do we make sure all of our voices are heard in humanitarian? Oh, go blow it out, you behind love. Sorry, I'm trying not to swear because someone did mention that they were watching with their little 4-year-old, and because I recently had my grandchildren living with me, I understand what it's like when you're trying to listen to somebody, but they swear and it's hard because you've got little kids around and you're going, oh, you're turning it down, turning it back up. Anyway, that is the end of that thread. Let me know what you... This is getting deep. These people all over the world have ties to each other, and the UN and the Tavistock and George Soros and the Clinton Foundation, and it just goes on and on and on. Okay. This is what Trump said. We'll take care of it all after the election. We caught him cold. We caught him cold. Bad people, crooked Hillary. And by the way, Obama and Biden knew everything that was happening. We'll take care of it after the election. The important takeaway from this is we'll take care of it after the election. Trump knows he's going to win by unprecedented landslide. We have the evidence on all of them, including the press. They know it. No need to rush into this. Let the deep state stew for a while. And I'm pretty sure we're at the point now where they said, don't interrupt the enemy while they're destroying themselves. Because if you look at the mainstream media right now, they're getting so ridiculous. I just can't believe that a lot of people are still not awake yet. Do you know what I mean? It's getting so ridiculous. How can you not tell? My 84-year-old mum and dad can both tell. Okay. This from Awakened Outlaw, R.E. Adam Schiff. Anthony Bourdain knew what happened at the Standard Hotel In related news, Anthony Bourdain was killed. These people who die with a red scarf around their neck, is it something to do with this? And they say they committed suicide. No, they didn't. There's something going on. And they're the one killing people. And cows eat grass. I like that name. The medical system has prepared the minds of the population for many decades. If not for that, this scam would be blatantly obvious to almost everyone at science fiction. I have to agree with that. The medical system putting fluoride in the water, and the medical system, which also tends to run, like if it's Monsanto, they tend to run like food, GMOs, and poisons that they put on GMOs and on our food. But they're a bio, so they're also, it's just, oh, what a mess we're in. Okay, in Stockholm today, as people around the world see how life is normal in Sweden because they didn't lock down, they didn't wear masks. And compare this to Victoria, where cases and deaths haven't been as bad. Please share by Proud Old Soldier. Should I play it? Let's have a look.
Hello everybody, my name is Svetlana. Today is October 12, 2020. Now it's about 5 o'clock, Monday, and we're going to see how does Sweden go with all the coronavirus situation, the public transport, the masks, and the social distance. So as you can see, there are plenty of people, and we're gonna see how this look outside as well, or inside.
So this is just getting on as per normal. No problem. It's funny because people who lock down and have to wear the masks are the ones who are getting the highest cases of the illness. And from Proud Old Soldier again, Brett Sutton just said, "Who advice on lockdowns aren't about us in Australia." So the WHO just said, "Do not lock down." Brett Sutton just said, "Oh, that's not about us." World Health Organization, I beg your pardon? Has this bloke got like cotton candy in his head? Like what's... And does anyone believe that? Seriously? Oh my goodness. Anyway, that will be it for tonight. I'm at the last one now. That's from yesterday's one. Let me know what you think about all this, because I think this is just getting very, very interesting. I'll put all the links down below. They will all be Twitter links, but they do lead to some of these articles. So you'll find them in the description below. And I'd like to thank you all for joining me and subscribing and liking and sharing and commenting, and even when you don't comment, I know you're just there in the background somewhere. I'm like, hey, how you going out there? Oh, okay, don't worry, I'm being silly now. I think I'm a bit tired. Okay, guys, I hope you have a good one, and I'll catch up with you very soon. Okay, guys, bye.